Good morning, girlies, and welcome to my very first rainy market vlog. Well, hello, if you're new here, my name is Taylor. I'm the founder and designer of NYGC by Taylor, or Not Your Grandma's Crochet, and hopefully I'm speaking loud enough because clearly I'm in my car. As you can see, they are setting up the market behind me. Usually it's in like this grass patch, but they were very smart to instead set up in the parking lot. I guess I can finally like show you guys a bit more, but this is like the actual building. It's like pretty huge, and then they have like a ginormous parking lot, so taking up the tiniest bit of parking lot space to set up the market isn't going to be anything major. It is supposed to pretty much be raining all day, however it's like the heaviest right now for sure, so that'll be interesting setup wise. But theoretically, once the market actually starts at 1, it should be a bit calmer. Theoretically. I am interested to see how today goes. I will have help today. My friend will be here with me. And I've never had to do a market in the rain. This is only what, my like 9th market or something like that. So my plan is to do my best to keep everything dry, keep things off the floor for sure, and I brought the top for my bin, but I'm wondering if I'll even bring my bin out of my car. I don't think I'll leave it outside at least. I'll like unload everything and then bring my bin back inside because I really want to like protect it from getting soaking wet at the bottom if possible, because I don't want that in my car. Yeah, there's not too many people here, maybe 2 or 3 other market people here, but we're also super early. You don't have to start getting here until 11:30, and it's probably like 10:50 right now. So yeah, I'm gonna let them finish setting up so I'm not like super duper in their way as they figure out everything, and then we will go outside. But let's hope that this rain settles down because it's definitely picking up, but that's what the weather app said it's going to do. So, and also this isn't going to be a weekend market vlog. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and initially I was going to do the market and like treat my mom to something here, but me and my brother came up with a different idea, a better idea, and with it being rainy, I don't think my mom would necessarily want to be at a market on Mother's Day. Anyways, so we have one day to make something shake. I would love to make a few sales today, especially since I didn't end up making any sales on Sunday of my last market, which that market weekend was also a bit rained out. I guess that's the rough thing about doing markets in like the spring. It's the nice thing about this market being free. Like if I decide not to come to the market because it's rainy, then I didn't lose anything, versus if I paid $60, $50, $90 to be here and it was rainy, or they closed the market and they didn't do refunds, that would suck. But it's free at the end of the day, and we're here, so we will see how this goes, and I will talk to you when I'm maybe setting up. I don't know how much of like actual vlogging I'll get done, but I'll try to make this a interesting video. Okay, here are the vibes. Currently me and 2 other people have braved the rain, and we've set up kind of next to each other. But if you look at like the total area, initially I was set up in one of those, but they were like kind of really wet. My car is parked right there, and so I was like, oh, those are handicapped, so I couldn't stay there, but it could be helpful. Those are the most dry, but they're kind of far away. But then one of the other people were like, actually these don't look too bad. So I was like, huh, okay. Now what I'm currently pausing on is I've gotten like my tables and stuff set up, but I feel like potentially, possibly, they could decide to move us inside if I just hold out long enough. That at least is the hope. Shut up. Whoa, another person that showed up. Could you tell that yesterday was just a wee bit chaotic? So, to fully recap, when I arrived yesterday, I knew I should arrive a little bit early. They sent an email Friday saying that they were still planning on doing... I'm sorry, I'm looking for my crochet hook. Hello? that they were still planning on doing the market even if it did rain, as long as it wasn't too bad. And that being said, I knew that I wanted to make sure to get there early in case a lot of people tried to get there early, so I could make sure I got a tent. And when I arrived, they were still setting up the tents, and only one other vendor that I knew was there. And there was 2 people like setting up the tents, and it was like pouring at that point. And typically the market is in the grass area, but they had moved the tents over to the parking lot, so it was actually in the road, which was definitely a smart move to me. And that's when you like heard and saw me like talk through all these different things. So anyways, once I'd moved to the second tent, the last clip that you guys saw, a few more people showed up. 2 more people to be exact showed up, so there was a total of 5 of us. Yeah, let's just go with 5 of us. And when the 5th person, before the 5th person came, I showed the girl that showed up before me. I showed the girl that was the first to show up. I was like, hey, like I just saw this Instagram post that said they're moving the outdoor market inside today, but it was posted like an hour ago, and clearly these tents are set out outside. So I was like, must have been a mistake. I don't know, because you can be inside, but you have to pay $100, and it's like $100 a day to vend inside. So anyways, we both were looking at that and we were like, oh, that's interesting. So when the 5th person showed up, she was confused because she was like, oh, like, did y'all see the Instagram post? And I was like, yeah, I actually just saw it, but I also just saw them put all these tents up. So yeah, I don't know. And so someone said that there was supposed to be 40 vendors here today. Now clearly with the fact that it was raining, were 40 people going to show up? Definitely not. However, for them to make a decision to move the market inside without knowing how many vendors would be there, I also didn't think was very practical. So I understood preparing to have it outside, but once it was like, you know, at this point probably like 12 o'clock and it was still pretty consistently just the 5 of us, I was like, I feel like potentially maybe we could convince them to move it inside. So the 5th person went inside to go find the actual person over vending. I'm just familiar with like the people who set up now, so like I don't even look for the vendor person, but this person, it was her first time vending. So she ended up finding her, she showed her the post, and the person was like, oh no, like we outsource our social media, so we did not give the okay to like post that. I don't even know what, blah, blah, blah. And as a social media manager myself, I can definitely understand the struggle that that could be. So I was trying to be very like understanding and be like, yeah, no, totally understand, whatever. So when the 5th person came back outside with the person who was over vending, and the person over vending was like, how many of you guys have seen the post? And we had all seen that post because I showed the post. But anyways, I was like, well, so the vending person was like, well, we have people booked for inside already, and you know, they're not all here yet, so I'm not even sure what the space would look like, and like there's 6 of you guys now, so I'm not sure, blah blah, but like you know, I would love to figure something out, blah blah. And so I was like, well, you know, there's like a portion of the food hall that's like covered, but it's still outside. It's just kind of like an area that has like 3 doors, kind of like an entryway area. And I was like, would it be possible for you to maybe fit some people in that area so then we wouldn't need the tents and blah blah. And she was like, well, we can walk over there, like let's figure it out. So we all walk over there and we're like, you know, she's like, okay, like I think 2 people could be right there and 1 person could be right there, and then I do have this inside space because the 5th person that came to the market, she has stained glass. So she was like, I really can't have my stained glass really like in the wind, like that's not really too ideal. So if it's possible for me to be inside, you know, that would be great. So the vendor person definitely takes a little bit of time to like figure everything out, but she comes back to us. At this point 2 other people had arrived, so there's about 7 of us now. And so she's like, okay, like I think I can fit like 3 or 4 of you out here, 3 of you guys inside. One person said they have a plant, so like y'all can definitely go inside. And then she was like, who else wants to go inside? And so my friend had come because she was gonna come help me in general, and this was literally the best day for her to come because it ended up being so chaotic. But I was telling my friend that initially I was really wanting to be outside just because obviously like this was a entry point, so a lot of traffic would like come through there. But at the same time, when everyone else was saying they wanted to be outside, I really wasn't in the mood to be like, well, I got here second, so I was like, yeah, I could be inside, like it's okay. So me, the stained glass woman and the plant guy were in this room inside, and I'll put clips here showing. I don't think I got a video of their setup, but you can at least see like my setup. And it was nice. Like honestly, with the rain and the weather and everything, the traffic was quite slow, very much slow. Like slower than any of the slow Sundays I've told you guys about since I've been at this market. That being said, I was really appreciative that they were willing to accommodate us and put us inside, especially knowing that there were people there that had paid to be inside and they did not request that from us, which was very kind. Obviously, we still ended up only doing our 1 to 6 time frame, whereas the people who pay to be there can be there from like 12 to 9, 12 to 8, something like that. So they definitely have like a longer period. That being said, it was a slow market for me, very slow. The plant guy was doing very well. Thankfully, all of us ended up making at least one sell. I ended up selling a headband, which was a sleigh. The headbands are my best sellers if you guys are curious, which I find interesting. I would have assumed that scrunchies would be my best seller. However, the small scrunchie and the headband both are $10, and for whatever reason people like the idea of the scrunchie, but the one person who like ended up buying the headband was like, oh, like, you know, I'm just not sure like how that scrunchie would be in my hair. And I was trying to tell him that like my scrunchie that I have right here, I've literally had for 4 years. It's the only scrunchie I use in my hair, and I put it in my hair every single night, and well, the proof's in the pudding. So I definitely need to brainstorm ways to like showcase that I've very intentionally designed my hair products, because you know, because yeah, when people fill the bandanas, when people fill the headbands, and even when they fill the scrunchies, they can tell that they're very soft, but I can understand the hesitancy to like wrap your hair up in yarn. So I will definitely be thinking of ways, because even with like online sales, my hair accessories don't sell online, but the headbands are 100% my best seller. And I guess I understand. I mean, they're pretty like easy to like imagine what a headband's gonna look like on your head. So that being said, I'm very glad that I decided to do the market at the end of the day. I ended up talking to the stained glass woman, and she actually sells on Fair, which is a wholesale platform. And I've been very intrigued by the idea of potentially doing something like Fair, especially with my hair accessories, because they don't take too long. Theoretically, I could do probably like hair accessories and hats. And so anyways, I wanted to talk to another handmade vendor who was on there, especially one that had a bit more intricacy behind it. I know a few people who like, you know, do a few different things, or at least people I've seen online who are on Fair, but they're not all 100% handmade, and the handmade goods that they may sell don't take necessarily as long as like what I do. So I just wanted a better understanding. So anyways, I plan on talking to her, messaging her about her Fair experience. So who knows, maybe a vlog will be coming about maybe a vlog will come out about me joining Fair at some point and sometime soon. But yeah, all I can say is I'm still really enjoying the market experience. At the end of the day, I really appreciate how well Halidome Eatery tries to accommodate everyone. I was really appreciative to my bestie being there. She definitely made it more enjoyable, and we were just yapping, and I bought her food and stuff for coming. and she backed my car in, which was a sleigh. And my dad actually ended up coming. My dad, my stepmom, my little brother, and yeah, it was a great experience. I got some more follows, not from this, but from other things. I'm currently working through the pipeline on a few commissions, hopefully. So all in all, the business is doing much better than it was in 2024, and I'm very thankful for that. I do still have plans on making like a 3-month recap video, recapping my first 3 months of doing markets. So stay tuned for that, and also stay tuned for next weekend because I will be doing another market vlog. I want to mention that like the interesting thing about doing markets during this season is obviously the fall is very rainy. Not the fall, what? It's spring. I just came back from an art exhibit that like went through the different seasons, so I'm thinking about the fall. Anyways, obviously the spring is very rainy, and I'm very appreciative of having a market like Halidome that is free. So on a day where it does look like the weather might be really bad, I'm not out $50-$60. I think I actually said that in the video. It's definitely a blessing at the end of the day. And even like a day like Sunday, bro, my brain, let's land this plane. I'm still very appreciative of this opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing how more weekends go, continuing to monitor the success of my various products, but also really focusing in on my summer collection. So I don't really have too many plans of making too much new inventory for my table, because this summer collection, it needs to get out. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel for more market vlogs, as well as like this video. Comment below, have you ever done a market in the rain? If so, how did it go? And yeah, I guess I can say I technically still have not done a market in the rain, and I hope that I don't have to experience that anytime soon. Anyways, goodbye guys. Today's currently Mother's Day, so if you are a mother, happy belated Mother's Day, and slay the house down, but toots, and stay a crafty girl, okay? In a world full of fascism, stay a crafty